Although this is a landscape series, this will be part 4 in the series. This is technically not really a landscape, it's an outer space scene, but I use the same effects and stuff to pull it off, so I'm going to go ahead and do it in this series. The first thing I want to do is I want to select my bottom plane again, and instead of doing anything with it, I'm going to delete it. Now, if I view my scene here, obviously it's empty. Alright, the next thing I want to do is I want to go to over here on the side when you see wire ground, underground, on, off, and I'm going to turn it on. And you can see that that extends this down. That lets me see if, if I had a big sphere here, for example, and I want to do a planet, and this was off. Whoops, wrong one. And this was off, it would cut off the bottom of my sphere. But by turning it back on, I get to see the whole thing. Okay, so again, the first thing, since I'm going to be in outer space, there's no clouds in outer space. So I'm going to go to my sky and fog, and I'm going to say custom sky. Okay, and the first thing I want to try to do is I'm going to try to click this and straighten it out and pull it down. And I'm going to take all my cloud cover away, all of my cloud height away, all of my haze, all of my fog, leave some shadows, and try to pull this again down to the bottom. Sometimes it takes a few clicks. And if I was to render it now, I've got this bright blue nothing. Okay? Part of that is because we have our sky color here is blue, and I'm going to change that to black. Okay? So now I should have this nice black scene to start with. Now, if I was to go into my Skylab, which is this little cloud with a rainbow, the first thing I do is I turn on Celestial. That way I can use stars, and I can use comets if I choose to. I choose not to in this one. And I'm going to do a moon phase, and I'll make myself a full moon. Okay, the other thing I want to do is I want to click this little button here to use an actual moon image. You can kind of see over here. Sun and moon size, I might want to make my moon larger. Let's see here. And I might want to add a halo ring. Okay. Alright, now over here, I can actually adjust where things are. Like that's the sun, or I can have it be the moon. Now, I think my moon's a little large, so I'm going to put it like that. Okay, and my intensity of my stars I can set up here a little bit. Maybe the amount of my stars might be improved. And I'm going to go ahead and click the check mark. Now if I do a render, I now have my moon with a ring here and stars. Now if I go back into my Skylab and I turn on comets and check, let's see if any show up. Okay, I don't really see any yet, so what you might have to do is you might have to go in and bring up the amount of comets or the intensity. And now when I view it, come on, I know you're going to be there. Let's try. Let me just make sure I add some more intensity and more amount. It's always when you try to show somebody something. Okay, and here you have a little comet down at the bottom. There you go. Now, once you have your basic space scene, you can obviously do planets and stuff. I like to start with a moon just because it's easy to stick in there. But you can also import things like spaceships, or in your objects. There's this thing here that says spaceship. Doesn't really look like a spaceship, but I can go to my edit tools and go to metals. Where is my metals? There we go. And pick something shiny or not. Hammered steel might be interesting. And render it. Okay. Okay, the other thing I could try is another texture here, like Christmas ball. Okay. So anyway, you can see that you get some reflection of the stars and stuff when you use a shiny surface. And that's a basic outer space scene. And I'll do a tutorial later on for how to add a big planet in a gas, an atmosphere. But hopefully this will get you started. Thanks a lot.